In today's world, we all need a side hustle bringing in additional income. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 reasons why land investing is the best side hustle. Hey guys, welcome back. I've got the top 10 reasons for you right now. Some of these reasons are going to be virtually no competition. You can do this from anywhere in the world, so geography freedom, and you can create such an abundance of financial freedom and even time freedom with land investing. Let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so number one, buy land and wait. Buy real estate and wait. You know, I'm listening to a great book on Audible right now. I was actually listening to it on the way to the studio today, and it talked about, you know, if you invest in something for a day, you got a 50-50 chance of actually doing well on that investment or terrible on that investment. If you invest in something for 1 year, you got about a 60% chance of doing very well in that investment. If you invest for 10 years, you got about an 80% chance. If you invest for 20 years, you have a 100% chance of doing very well in the investment. So I say buy land and wait. You know, what happens in all cities, all areas of the country and the world, cities eventually expand. People grow into them. You know, there's some cases where, like Detroit, Michigan, where they kind of decrease a little bit, but that doesn't usually happen. That's kind of an outlier. Cities usually, you know, thrive and expand and eventually get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I love to buy land on the outside of growth, on the path of progress, or where there might be a highway going by one day, or just outside of the city where you can get a deal now, and 20 years from now, it's going to be a huge, huge demand for that land. So number one, buy land and wait because it appreciates in value over the time, over the long run. Number two is supply and demand. You know, understanding supply and demand is a really good thing to know. So as supply increases, usually demand decreases. So it's almost the reverse opposite. As demand increases, usually the supply decreases because as more people need something, there's less of a supply for it. So supply and demand. You know, God's not making any more vacant raw land. There's more housing going up. There's more factories. There's more you know, industry, more buildings, more roadways, more highways, more things going in, more concrete, more parking spaces, more parking lots and asphalt cities. So as we do this, we run out of vacant raw land. So supply and demand. Number three is I love the fact that land is absolutely the lowest maintenance asset investment you're ever gonna find. So I have rental properties and there's always something that needs fixed. A water heater, a toilet's clogged up, a toilet's leaking. We just had to replumb an entire house. We just had to replace an air conditioner. We just had to replace a roof that was leaking. And after we replaced that roof that was leaking, it was still leaking. There's always maintenance to be done, and now we're having to paint the house. And now that we're painting the house, we're realizing the windows look terrible, so now we have to replace the windows. There's so much maintenance to be done on properties, but land, there's virtually no maintenance. There's nothing to worry about. If trees and grass grow up, that's what God intended for things to happen like that, for things to go green and things to go brown. So as we talk about maintenance, there's virtually no maintenance on land. It's just clean and crisp and clear. Reason number four, the upside is absolutely exponential and enormous. I already talked about this a little bit, but the path of growth is huge. If you buy land on the outskirts of the city, or maybe you can find like little pockets within the city that there's still vacant land and nothing has moved into there yet, that's even better. That's a faster return. We're looking at maybe 3 to 5 years rather than 20 years on the outskirts of the city. Maybe you don't have 20 years. Maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have time. I don't have 20 years to wait. Then you can get the land right now at a crazy massive discount and sell it for a little bit more. Sell it for a profit. Sell it to someone else that's got cash and they're looking for a deal on the land. Then you can make a quick profit now. You don't have to wait 20 years. That's just one of the many benefits. Reason number five, feeding the world. Since 1978 to 2022, the world has doubled in population. We are currently approaching 8 billion people on this earth. In 1974, we were sitting at around 4 billion. Do the math. That is huge. We have doubled in the past, 40 something years? That is not very long. Not very long. And as we double in this population, there's more mouths to feed, more babies to feed. People are getting older. Less babies are dying in the hospital. As health care improves, as medicine improves, as living standards improve, we're going to have more and more people on this earth. So there's going to be places we need to invest to feed these people, to grow food, to have plants, to have livestock, cattle, farms, produce, fruit trees, things that are going to feed us and sustain us for the future. All right, before I get into reason number 6, I want you to smash that subscribe button. Let's keep going. Reason number 6 is you can buy this land for super cheap and then you can rent it out. You can lease it out. My father just rented out about 10 acres of hunting land for about $6,000 per year. He also has another 11 acres that's cleared land that he can rent out to, cattlemen, somebody that wants to run cows on the property. Now, you can only put about 1 cow per acre, easily comfortable on that 10 or 11 acres. So that's 11 cows. If he just gets a couple hundred per year, that's a positive return on investment for him. Some people actually put cell phone towers, lease out a parcel of their land for cell phone towers. Some people lease out a parcel of land for billboards or signage. I personally pay a couple people each month to put land for sale signs on their property that's on the sides of highways, main highways or interstates, including I also like to buy land on the sides of highways. Even if it's a strip of land that's not ever going to be buildable, or you can never put a house there or a building there, you might be able to get a special exemption for a sign or a billboard or some type of signage. There's also ways that, to buy land and put in mobile home parks where people never actually own the land, they just rent it from you. Now, some counties want you to have at least 15 acres for that. There's also places like RV parks where people come in nightly. RV parks love to be on sides of highways, interstates, major county roads that they can just come in and go right out and keep traveling. So just keep those things in mind when looking to purchase land and using this as a side hustle. Reason number 7, it is an extremely low barrier of entry. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. It was 2016. I was an Army officer, an executive officer for a forward support company supporting the infantry battalion. I was so busy, my head was absolutely spinning, but I had one mission, and that was to get out of the military because I wanted to start, seeing my family more often, be around my kids more often. I had a newborn at the time and I was never home. I was always in the field, always training, always gone, always preparing for deployment. And I also had a new wife at home that was missing me. Well, I really had to come up with a plan to get out of the military so I can start, creating my own future and not just doing what someone else was telling me to do. I would miss so many weekends and nights and evenings. I would leave home before my baby would wake up, and I would come home after the baby was down. So that was no life for me. I would only see the baby on weekends when I was not away. So I was coming up with a plan of how I could start making about $4,500 a month to cover my expenses to be able to get out of the military. So I was listening to a podcast, like watching videos just like you're watching right now on this YouTube channel. That's why I tell you to subscribe to my channel, is because I'm coming out with things or videos 5 days a week talking about the things that I did to create this future that I now enjoy, this lifestyle we've now made. When I say we, I mean me and my wife, because she supported me during this. So I'm listening to this podcast and I hear this man talking about buying vacant raw land at crazy massive discounts, and he's like flipping this stuff overnight, like he's buying it today and selling it tomorrow and doubling his money. Well, I had never really doubled my money like that before, so I set out on a quest to go ahead and take action right now. So I took a postcard. This postcard is yours right now for free if you go to thelandsharks.com/postcard. I'm going to give you that exact postcard that I use, but it says, "Hey, my name is Brent and I'd like to buy your land at 123 Main Street. If you're interested in an all cash fair offer, please call me or text me. God bless you." And then I would put my name, Brent, and then my phone number. I put my cell phone at that time because I didn't have like phone lines or anything. I already had a cell phone, so I didn't want to spend more money. But I sent this postcard to the tax delinquent list. These are people that are not paying their taxes on their vacant raw land. Well, my phone rang off the hook in that first That first call, it was a retired CPA saying, hey, you can have this land for $285. It is yours. And here's why I'm talking about the low barrier of entry. This guy gave me the price. I had no clue what the land was worth, so I had to drive to the land. I still didn't know what it was worth, so I called a real estate office, and luckily that realtor ended up making an offer on that land for me for $5,000. And I said, I'll take it. Let's do it. So I sold it to her really the next week. So I called my seller and I said, hey, can I pay you on Tuesday? I've got a buyer already, and I got that quit claim deed. I wrote him a check on Tuesday. I took it to the title company. I got my $5,000 check on Wednesday. So I didn't just double my money. I don't even know. I 20x'd my money. I bought it for, let's just say $300. I sold it for $5,000. So not quite 20x, but that was a really good return on investment. I don't even have a calculator, so I can't figure out what that ROI is, but it was extremely, extremely good. The next week, I bought another piece of land for $500. I still had no clue what it was worth. This land was not buildable, not accessible. It was surrounded by state park land. Amazing land for someone that wants to hunt, but we had a couple obstacles we had to get over. We had to figure out how to legally ingress and egress, to legally access this property. I didn't know all that. I didn't have time. I was working 12 hours a day for the Army, trying to see my wife and my baby. So I just put it on Craigslist and I said, hey, there's no access to this land. There's no legal ingress, egress. You're gonna have to figure this out by hiring a real estate attorney. It's yours for $500 down. I only paid $500 for it, right? And $400 a month. I had a buyer the next day because I actually went across the state land. I took photos of this land where I thought were the boundaries. I put a screenshot of the GIS map that the county provides me. If you go to the county assessor site, you can just type in GIS map for your county and put in the coordinates or put in the assessor's parcel number. So I did all that. I did a little bit of the due diligence and told the buyer, like, it's up to you. You're gonna have to figure this out. I had a buyer the next day. That is what I mean by the low barrier of entry. Anybody can do this. If I can do this with no time and no money, a newborn at home, new wife at home, anybody can do this. Reason number 8 is there is absolutely virtually no competition in this side hustle because people drive by land every single day and they don't look twice at it because there's no buildings to flip, no houses to flip, no houses to buy and rent out, no mobile home parks, no RV parks. They don't see a way to make money, and there's absolutely a way to make money with land by buying it cheap and selling it, turning around and selling it on, financing like I just talked about, or turning around and selling it for cheap and making a quick profit. My father has done over 50 something land deals now. He buys it super cheap and he sells it really quickly for super cheap, and like he'll buy it for like $5,000, he'll sell it for $8,000. So what's the difference between 5 and 8? 6, 7, 8. That's $3,000 that he used maybe 3 hours of his time to make $1,000 an hour. Well, I pay my attorney really well. I pay my attorney $355 an hour. My dad is making almost 3 times that in 1 hour. So I'm really proud of him for doing that. All right, so reason number 9 is you can do this virtually. I was in the field a lot as I was in the military. What do I mean by the field? We would go out and train for like weeks at a time. We'd have to sleep out there. We'd be doing 24-hour operations as battlefield operations. And I would do land deals on the phone from my computer, sometimes in the porta potty. Like, I'm not proud of that, but sometimes I'd have to hide and do these deals. You can completely do this virtually, but sometimes you're gonna need boots on ground. It's so easy to find. Put an ad on Craigslist. Need help? Go take photos of this land. Put stakes out where the boundaries are. You can find these people on buy-sell groups. I just found a videographer in another city for a piece of land that we're gonna be going to in a couple weeks, on a buy-sell group on Facebook. So the world has been changed with social media and Craigslist and all these things. You can completely do this virtually. You don't even have to be in the United States. And the final reason number 10, this passive income that I already mentioned, the $400 a month, is completely life-changing. This is a lifestyle business. This side hustle turned into my main hustle, ultimately the main business that now supports me and my families and others by producing an income every single month that we can live comfortably for at least 8 or 9 years, because of most of my buyers of this land that I'm selling are on average paying us for the next 7 to 30 years. Now our average note is about 9 years, but I'm getting more to 30-year mortgages that where you give me a $500 down payment and you pay me $400 a month for the next 30 years. I collect for a long time on these pieces of land. So I'm not just doing a deal and having to go out and work again tomorrow and do another deal. Every time I do a deal, every time I do a land deal, it increases my income every single time we do it. My acquisition managers that help me buy this land, sometimes I'm telling them, I'm like, Jen, are you sure you want to buy this small piece of land? It's not that big of a profit. She's like, absolutely, yes, I do, because it's going to increase my passive income by $100 or $200 a month every time we do one. So the passive income is incredible. This allows you geography freedom, time freedom, financial freedom. It allows me to be able to have breakfast with my children in the morning, except for this morning because I had to leave early and come to the studio. It allows me to have dinner at night with my kids, and whatever we choose to do whenever we want to go on vacation or travel wherever we want to. And it's changed my life. So if you're interested in joining the community, the Land Sharks community, the Rhino Nation with Wholesaling Inc., I want you right now to go to thelandsharks.com, fill out an application, schedule a call, talk with me and my team. We'd love to tell you about the community and what we're doing and what we're building. I'm training other people how to accomplish this freedom, just like I've spoken about today.